We have just had the allocation draw for this year's Eurovision Song Contest. But what are the main significance in regards to it? Let's find out together. Roll those titles. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. I am Jamie Jew, and welcome back to a brand new video where, as I already mentioned, yes, we have had the official allocation draw to determine which countries will be going in which semi-finals and in which half of which semi-finals for this year's competition, and of course also find out which of the big five members will vote in which specific finals, or semi-finals in this case. Because slight good news-ish this year, I mean, it's good news for me if you ask me, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of it all. But we won't have 26 countries in this year's grand finale. We will have 25 countries because, of course, one of the big five won it last year. But before we dive into all of the details, as much as I can remember from certain Eurovision past gone by, be sure to, of course, subscribe if you so do wish to my channel, as I will be dealing with more Eurovision juicy goodness all the way up until the main event itself in 2022. Maybe a tiny bit beyond. But in any case, it's your decision if you want to. Just, smash the subscribe button. Yeah, as I know, a lot of you who do view my stuff don't bother subscribing. So what are you doing? Get subscribed right now. Anyway, let's deal with the whole allocation draw in itself, starting with the first semi-final. In the first half of the first semi-final, we have, in alphabetical order, Albania, Bulgaria, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, the Netherlands, Slovenia, Switzerland, and Ukraine. For the second half of the first semi-final, in alphabetical order, we have Armenia, Austria, Croatia, Denmark, Greece, Iceland, Norway, Russia, and Portugal. And in the second semi-final, well, the first half of the second semi-final, we have, again in alphabetical order, Australia, Azerbaijan, Cyprus, Finland, Georgia, Israel, Malta, San Marino, and Serbia. In the second half of the second semi-final, it's Belgium, Czech Republic, Estonia, Ireland, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Poland, Romania, and Sweden. And going to the big five countries voting in those semi-finals, we have voting in the first semi-final, the hosts Italy and France. And those voting in the second semi-final are Germany, Spain, and the United Kingdom. So let's dive first of all what potential diaspora / political voting we could have on hand for each particular semi-final, which, let's face it, is going to happen. And a couple of others do stick out in front of me straight away in the form of Latvia and Lithuania, both very close to each other in the Balkans area. Yeah, I can't see why they shouldn't vote for each other, but there you go. And also another big connotation, I know they're in separate halves, but they're in the same semi-final, so they're going to vote for each other, which is Russia and Ukraine, even though a couple of countries in the West, especially here, might tell you otherwise. I'm not going to get into all of that at the moment, trust me. Ukraine and Russia happen to be good pals at Eurovision. They keep voting for each other, so that's another one. Probably not maybe so much Albania and Armenia, but that's another story for another time as well. There is also Denmark and Iceland in the same semi-final, and if they have decent songs, no doubt they will give each other the maximum 12 points all day long. You also have that little ring of Bulgaria, maybe Moldova and Slovenia also giving each other points, as well as Croatia, potentially. And, of course, I've almost forgot, Norway was in amongst the same semi-final as Denmark and Iceland, so we could have that potential thing going on there. Maybe at a push, Portugal might get some, fairly positive votes from Italy and France, respectively, who, of course, also voted from the same semi-final, but it won't be as much as, say, certain others here that, as already mentioned. The same also applies, I would say, to the Netherlands and Austria. They might give each other sort of fairly minor point, decent amount of points. Not 12 points per se, but they certainly will. And that's about it. But one thing to note is that Greece and Cyprus are in separate semi-finals. Phew. Moving on to the second semi-final, well, one thing that immediately stands out as far as I'm concerned, even though it has to be said, it hasn't happened so much in recent years, is that Ireland and the United Kingdom are in effectively the same semi-final as each other. Okay, Ireland will be getting the UK's votes, but you get the gist. But then again, in recent years, the United Kingdom tend to give a lot of points to Ireland, but it's not really well reciprocated. But hey, this year might be different if we actually send in a decent song, so, Fingers crossed. But one thing to note, with the return of Montenegro, Serbia are in the same semi-final as them. Other than that, it's mostly kind of spread about, which is a very good thing, and less chance of political voting, but unless of course I missed anything, please do let me know in the comments below if I have missed anything. Of course, bear in mind this isn't necessarily the final draw. Obviously, it's up to the producers to decide the actual final draw come the semi-finals and of course the grand final itself. But this will give an indication as to which particular country will be in which particular half. The unluckiest of people will be in the first half, there's no denying it, because unless of course you're first up, maybe if you're like 7th or 8th up, but otherwise if you're in the later positions, you're gonna get the better side of the draw. Everybody wants to be in the second half, so you know, very fortunate for Austria, Croatia, Denmark, Greece, Iceland, blah blah. All of those in the second half of the first and second semi-finals. Anyway, that about does it for this particular video. That's what I think of it all, but please do let me know what you think in the comments below. Who do you think's gonna potentially be the first out of the semi-final? Who do you think's gonna flop? I know we've only had 3 songs at this stage, but you know, for some reason even the bookies are getting involved now. It's a weird and wonderful time as far as the Eurovision world is concerned, but it is what it is. Anyway, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, smash the like button good and hard if you like this video so much, which you better have done. Subscribe for more if you want to by smashing the subscribe button, and of course ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos if you're already subscribed. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye everybody. Bye bye.